there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am honored and delighted to be with my good friends Susan Jarboe and Linda Baker. We have hopefully wonderful discussion to share with you. But before we do that, as always, we would like to open in prayer, kind of get focused and in the moment. So we invite you to sit back, take a breath, and turn within. God, we rejoice in this opportunity to be together, to learn and grow and share together. God, be with us in the words we speak and the ears that hear us as we join together in this time of exploration and empowerment. Thank you, God. Amen. So, like I said, I have got the topic today. We are looking at the book, Discover the Power Within You. And this was written by Eric Butterworth, one of Unity's better known teachers and authors. He was very prolific. And when I was looking at this book, we've done book studies on it, we've done a lot of work with it. I picked it up and I read the prologue. It's very short, but I love the story in here, and hopefully it will bring a discussion. So I'll stop talking about it and just share it with you. According to an old Hindu legend, there was a time when all men were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from men and hide it where they would never again find it. Where to hide it became the big question. When the lesser gods were called in council to consider this question, they said, "We will bury man's divinity deep in the earth." But Brahma said, "No, that will not do, for man will dig deep down into the earth and find it." Then they said, "Well, we will sink his divinity into the deepest ocean." But again, Brahma replied, "No, not there, for man will learn to dive into the deepest waters and will search out the ocean bed and will find it." Then the lesser god said, "We will take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there." But again, Brahma replied, "No, for man will eventually climb every high mountain on earth. He will be sure someday to find it and take it up again for himself." Then the lesser gods gave up and concluded, "We do not know where to hide it, for it seems there is no place on earth or in the sea that man will not eventually reach." Then Brahma said, "Here is what we will do with man's divinity. We will hide it deep down in man himself, for he will never think to look for it there." Ever since then, the legend concludes, man has been going up and down the earth, climbing, digging, diving, exploring, searching for something that is already within himself. 2,000 years ago, a man named Jesus found it and shared its secret. But in the movement that sprang up in his name, the divinity in man has been the best kept secret of the ages. Okay, I'm sure you've heard this story before. I think it was the best way to start this particular book, Discover the Power Within You. And I am hoping to open up this topic, but before I do, I would like to maybe share a little bit about myself. That, of course, I started on this journey very, very young, as many of us do. And I was looking outside. And, honestly, I didn't like what I was finding on the outside in the search for God. My search led me to judgment and prejudice and control and shame and all kinds of things that I wanted no part of. And I had no part of. I just could not relate to the God up in the sky with the staff bringing on judgment. It wasn't until I found unity, which was the path I took, and they told me, look inside, and what you're seeking, you find it there. And that was very much my journey of unity. So, my question would be kind of my conversation starter, and ladies, take it anywhere you want to go. How did you discover the power within you? Take it away.
Well, unity was a big help to me, that's for sure. But that came later in life for me. I think it started with me as a kid when I would have feelings, intuition. I could walk, I could look at a plant and tell it it wanted some, it was thirsty, it wanted a drink. Or I was in a situation, I can remember going to a swimming pool and all the big kids were out in the deep end and I wanted to be at the deep end too, and I stood right there at the edge of the pool, not knowing how to swim, contemplating jumping in the deep end. But that intuition came through, and oh no you don't, so I started listening to my intuition, and it led me, it carried me through until I found unity, just like you say.
So the power within you was so big, it just spilled out
It
through
did.
your intuition. That's a beautiful story. And so often intuition is how we relate to and hear that voice within, that connection. Susan?
Well, when I think of the power within, I can think of a lot of different kinds of power. And when you first asked us this question, how did we become aware of the power within? My reply was, I'm still looking for it. And there are moments, like when Linda said something about the plant, knowing that the plant was thirsty. When I see synchronicity in the world, I see God's power. And I really don't think of my power as mine. I think of God's power enabling me. I don't know if that makes any sense, because all my power is God's power. And so when I want to draw on the power within, it's God's power I'm drawing on. It's not my power. And I always thank God when I do something that's a challenge, okay, that's going to be difficult. I ask God to help. And then I always thank God. Thank you for enabling me to do this. Thank you for giving me the power to achieve this or accomplish this or overcome this. I guess, so in some ways, I don't think of my own power. Now, I don't know if I'm totally off base here with what you were trying to say, or if there's a way you can make sense of me and pull this together.
Susan, you always make sense, and I very much share what you're saying, and it's our power. And that's what God is, all good, all power, all presence. And we can choose to use that, to come from that place, to use those innate abilities, and the way Linda described it, to listen to my intuition, which of course was a divine whisper, a divine knowing of the world around her. She could also choose to ignore it. And it's when I choose to act on it, to use it, to bring it into manifestation, that I can claim my intuition, my power, even though it's ours. It's all of ours. And each and every one of us has a choice to use it, to develop it, to share it. I always see it as bringing forth a greater awareness, a greater presence of God into the world. And I can choose to do that, or I can choose not to. But whatever I choose doesn't limit or change the power and the choices available to you. There is more than all of us could ever need available. So when I claim it as my power, I'm not taking it away from anybody else. In fact, if I'm sharing it and showing it, I'm actually increasing that within the people around me. Like Eric Butterworth did when he wrote this book, Discover the Power Within You. He used the power within him to show the people around him that this is available to you too. It's kind of exactly what Jesus did as well. He modeled using the wisdom, the power, the goodness of God into the world and living a life based on that to show us we had that available to us too. The power within me is the very same as the power within you. And when we talk about it and highlight it and demonstrate it, we bring more of that into the world and make it more available for everyone to see and use. That's my opinion.
Well, I like what you say, and it reminds me of one of my goals when I teach interpersonal communication to college students. Uh, my goal is to show them their power when they communicate. I hope by the end of the semester, they have a lot more choices. You know, they can see more possibilities than they can right now. And so I like connecting this to empowering other people.
And by you doing that, you are doing God's power. You're absolutely doing it. You're doing something beautiful for God. And that's just exactly what He wants you to do.
What a nice thought.
Oh, it's the
Thank
truth.
you.
It's the writing on the paper. It's that plain.
Oftentimes, when I get out into the world, as I'm getting ready, I start the car, I do my car prayer, it's all said. I take a breath and consciously visualize going out and bringing forth more God into the world. And I might do that by saying a kind word, paying for somebody's groceries, letting somebody ahead of me in traffic. I go forth with the intention of manifesting more of the divine in the world around me? How can I be God in the world today? How can I bring forth more divine into the world today? And I have that power. We all do.
That reminds me of A Course in Miracles, where they suggest an opening prayer. When you start your day, when you first wake up, a prayer to God. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? With whom would you have me speak? And that's a good opening prayer for the day. I mean, it's like what you're doing.
There is so much opportunity out there. Look at the situation with the homelessness. And it's like the problem gets bigger because we're supposed to notice it. And so it keeps growing, but there is so much that we can do there. And also in nature, we're here to take care of Mother Earth and all her creatures. And it's all right there at our touch for us to do something beautiful for God.
Any other comments? I'd just like to say it's exciting being a part of this panel, how powerful you both are, we all are, and how wonderful to call attention to it. I'm so glad we talked about this and had this discussion. And we, of course, hope that you enjoyed it too. We want to welcome our new subscribers. Thanks for being with us. And if you aren't already a subscriber, we invite you to sign up. Just hit that subscribe button. If you hit the little bell next to it, you will get an alert every time we publish another video. We would love to hear your comments, and we are excited to announce we are looking to expand our team. That could be you. If you're interested in being a part of a single video or a regular part of our team, we would love to have you. Information on how to connect is available to you at the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining us today. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.